Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Unman Bhattacharya, coming up in the next hour. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol apologizes for martial law attempt, impeachment vote against him to take place today. Syrian government loses control of another key city of Daraa. Thousands flee the city of Homs as rebels' advance continues. Several countries, including India, issue travel advisories. Amid the growing attack against minorities in Bangladesh, Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri to visit the nation on the 9th of December. From ashes to glory, Notre Dame doors to open once again 5 years after fire, marking a huge milestone in the historic monument's recovery. And in World Chess Championship, Indian challenger Gukesh and China's world champion Liren to clash again in the 10th game on Saturday. I break through after series of draws. In a televised address to the nation, South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol on Saturday apologized for causing a public stir by declaring martial law. Yoon said he would not seek to avoid legal and political responsibility for his decision, which he said was born out of desperation. He also promised that there will be no second martial law declaration. Meanwhile, the leader of the ruling party, Han Dong-hoon, said that an early resignation of President Yoon would be unavoidable.
I'm very sorry and would like to sincerely apologize to the people who were shocked regarding the declaration of martial law. I will not avoid any legal or political responsibility.
In a press briefing, South Korea's main opposition leader Lee Jae-myung said on Saturday that he will work hard to end President Yoon Suk Yeol's term early, despite Yoon's apology to the nation.
The greatest risk facing South Korea right now is the very existence of the president. The only solution are the president's immediate resignation or an early exit through impeachment. I will do my utmost to ensure the president's resignation or impeachment.
As per reports, South Korea's parliament will proceed with the re-vote of the Special Counsel Act regarding First Lady Kim Kyon-hee at 8 a.m. GMT ahead of the impeachment vote, as she is facing several allegations from stock manipulation to accepting a luxury Dior handbag. And our correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh is joining us now live from New Delhi. Shubhendu, this sets to rest in a sense all the buzz that we've been hearing since yesterday, particularly around a second martial law declaration. The opposition is now pushing, we know, for a vote on a motion to impeach the South Korean president. So what could possibly happen now? Could it be the end of Yoon's reign soon?
Well, the end is, the experts say, most certain, Munmun. Good morning. For the President, Yoon Suk Yeol, it is going to be either his own stepping down from the position of the presidentship, or it is going to be an impeachment. Now, there's some technicalities. One, of course, his apology came, but many were surprised that he did not use that opportunity to step down, and it was an apology that many say was not enough for the kind of chaos that he had taken South Korea through. Now, the impeachment would require 2/3 of the vote in the National Assembly. The opposition at the moment has about 190 to 192 seats in the Parliament, in the National Assembly. 2/3 would mean 200 votes out of 300. Now, the kind of opposition that Yoon Suk Yeol now faces in his own party, it is likely that there would be some defections from his own party, People's Power Party, and likely the impeachment will go through smoothly if that happens. Now, that is not where the impeachment process ends. once it is cleared by the National Assembly, it goes to the Constitutional Court. Now, there's a bit of a technicality there. There are 9 justices in the Constitutional Court, out of which only 6 are in attendance. 3 positions are vacant. And these positions are also filled with the approval, it's ironical, with the approval of the president. But here the president himself is in trial. So that makes it a bit technical. Will the 6 judges be enough to proceed with the impeachment process? What has become clear is that Yoon Suk-yeol is unlikely to announce his own stepping down, his own resignation, given that he has missed opportunities to do that in the recent past. And even in the address that just came in, the indication that he is giving is that he would still like to carry out and fix the problems that perhaps he has created. So in that sense, the removal of Yoon Suk-yeol seems more certain, but it is to be seen what is the path that is going to be followed in the days ahead.
So you're saying it looks certain that he might go, but there is a technicality ahead. Remains to be seen how that is really tackled. But if Yoon were to go, what shape could the government take?
Well, it is not the first time that South Korean president is going to be impeached. 8 years ago, the first woman president of Korea, Park Geun-hye, also facing financial economic corruption charges, had to step down. Now, again, the process that comes into being is that the prime minister then becomes the interim president. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo would then take charge as the interim president of South Korea. Elections would be announced in a few weeks' time. That would be announced. The new elections, the new leadership would be elected in South Korea. Now, the leader who's speaking most passionately against Yoon Suk-yeol, the opposition leader, Lee Jae-myung, is running as a favorite to be the next president of South Korea. But it is going to be a challenging assignment. There are divisions in South Korean politics. We saw when Yoon Suk-yeol became the president in 2022, it was a very thin margin of 1% vote that got him the highest office in the country. So in those political divisions that are there, the challenges that are coming up, the Korean Peninsula, remember, is one of the most militarized zones in the world. There is the constant threat and challenge from the north as well. So under those circumstances, politically, a challenging time for South Korea.
Indeed, Shubhendu. Also, it's quite interesting how a Dior handbag has caused one of South Korea's biggest political scandals. Tell us more about it.
That's right. When the story of Yoon Suk-yeol will be narrated when he sort of steps down and his fall is analyzed, the story of Dior handbag scandal is going to feature prominently. And interestingly, it does not directly concern him. It concerns his wife, the First Lady. Now, what had happened was in 2022, Dior, an expensive, we know it's a luxury brand worth about upwards of $2,000 handbag was gifted to her by a pastor. Now, as is the case in public offices in South Korea too, it's an unwritten rule that expensive gifts are not to be accepted by the president or his family. I mean, it was seen as a gift for favor, as a bribe. There was an investigation launched in 2023. Although it did not yield much in terms of whether there was indeed a favor done for the pastor in exchange of that expensive bag, but it did dent significantly his public image of the president, Yoon Suk-yeol, that the charges of corruption against the First Lady. In fact, that was not the only corruption charge that she faces. And that also led to his downfall in the public eye. His approval ratings have been crashing since the beginning of the year. They were about 19% till yesterday. The approval rating were now just above double digits. Also, his losing of the parliamentary elections in April this year was a testimony to the manner in which he was losing public confidence in his own rule, and that was also seen now as by many of the critics his motivation to declare martial law in the first place, because nothing seems to be going in his way. He couldn't pass through his legislation. He was threatened by impeachment. Many of his cabinet colleagues were impeached. So in that sense, there has been a gradual downfall for Yoon Suk-yeol. Also dramatic because in 2017, he was the public prosecutor for South Korea. He made a name for himself by challenging and prosecuting elite, difficult to reach political elites, economic elites of South Korea who were facing corruption charges. He was seen as someone who's rising from the grassroots to fight against corruption, and now faces political and economic corruption charges himself. So a dramatic fall for the South Korean leader.
Interesting turn of events there. Shubhendu Ghosh reporting from New Delhi. Now, updates from Syria. Rebels in the West Asian country are taking control of major cities one after another. In the latest blow, the Syrian government lost control on Friday of the symbolic southern city of Daraa and most of the eponymous province, which was the cradle of the country's 2011 uprising. While Aleppo and Hama, the other two main cities taken from government control in recent days, fell to the rebel alliance, Daraa fell to local armed groups. Daraa city has both strategic and symbolic importance. It is a provincial capital and is close to the main crossings on the Jordanian border. Syrian officials also left government buildings in Sweda on Friday and fled the mainly Druze southern province after local fighters took control of some checkpoints in the province. The Sweda governor, the police and prison chiefs and the local Baath party leader all left their offices in the city of Sweda. Meanwhile, thousands of people have fled homes as the Syrian city looks set to become the third to be captured by rebels. The UN has reported that an estimated 120,000 refugees have already fled conflict zones for sanctuaries in the north since the conflict reignited, stoking fears that it could spark a mass migration. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has reaffirmed Iran's support for Syria. Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi met with his Iraqi and Syrian counterparts on Friday in Iraq's capital Baghdad to discuss the situation in Syria. Addressing the media along with the Syrian and Iraqi counterparts, the Iranian Foreign Minister warned that sweeping rebel gains in Syria posed a danger to the whole region.
The threats of terrorism in Syria will not be limited to Syria, and it is a threat to all neighbors and the entire region. If Syria becomes the shelter for terrorists, with the return of ISIS and other terrorist groups, it will create a great threat to the region, and this threat will definitely not be limited to Syria and will accelerate into Syria's neighboring countries such as Iraq, Jordan and Turkey.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Friday called for the protection of civilians and minorities in Syria as rebel groups continue to seize swaths of territory from the control of Syrian forces. During a phone conversation with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, the U.S. Secretary of State emphasized the importance of protecting civilians, including members of minority groups across Syria. U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller in a statement informed that the U.S. Secretary of State also discussed the need for a political solution to the conflict. In view of the deteriorating security situation in Syria, several countries have issued advisories to their citizens, either living or planning to visit the West Asian nation. India's Ministry of External Affairs late on Friday issued an advisory to citizens to avoid all travel to Syria until further notice. The MEA in its advisory has requested Indians currently in Syria to get in touch with the Indian Embassy in Damascus for any help and updates at their emergency helpline number and email. It further said those who can are advised to leave by the earliest available commercial flights, and others are requested to observe utmost precaution about their safety and restrict their movements to the minimum. Earlier, replying to a question regarding the situation in Syria, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal said that there are about 90 Indian nationals in conflict-torn country, among them several working with UN organizations. He said that the Indian Embassy is in regular touch with them.
I've noted that there has been recent escalation in fighting in North Syria. We are closely following the situation. There are about 90 Indian nationals, we understand. There are also several Indians there who are working with UN organizations. Our embassy is in regular touch with our Indian nationals for their safety and security.
The U.S. State Department also asked Americans in Syria to immediately leave the country. The department urged U.S. citizens to depart Syria now, while commercial options remain available. Russia's embassy in Damascus also wanted citizens to leave Syria as rebel forces are taking control of major cities one after another. Still to come on DD India News Hour. TikTok is one step closer to being banned in the United States. Romania's top court scraps presidential election. UK's biggest Christmas tree decorated with 2,000 lights.
We are doing a youth dialogue on Indian foreign policy with 30 outstanding, most talented young people from various colleges and universities across India.
The youth bulge in our country is more interested in knowing about what is going on in the world.
We need to see where our interest lies, be it in economic sphere or the soft power diplomacy, trade and other negotiations, also strategic balancing.
What S. Jaishankar actually brought to the table was, as Foreign Secretary as well as the Foreign Affairs Minister, the strategic clarity that India has.
You're watching DD India News Hour with me, Munmun Bhattacharya. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko on Friday signed an agreement on mutual security guarantees between Moscow and Minsk. At a joint press conference following the Supreme State Council, Putin expressed concern about the situation in Europe, in particular in Ukraine, saying that Western countries are deliberately escalating tensions. The Russian president also discussed the possibility of deploying weapons such as the Orishnik medium-range ballistic missile in Belarus, saying that he believes that this will become possible in the second half of 2025. During the press conference, Lukashenko requested that Putin deploy new weapon systems, including the Orishnik, on his country's territory. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky again condemned Russia's relentless attacks, emphasizing the devastating toll of its strikes on Ukrainian cities. Sharing a post on X on Friday, Zelensky wrote, "Russia's words mean nothing, but their bombs and missiles speak volumes." The Ukrainian president further criticized Russian President Vladimir Putin and said that he does not seek real peace, whereas Zaporizhia Governor Ivan Fedorov said the attack had set a car garage and service station on fire in the blast, posting images of a fire blazing with debris strewn across the street. Earlier, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has officially handed over the first batch of Peklo, which are domestically developed and built long-range cruise missiles, to the country's armed forces. The president announced the development on his official X handle, saying that the missile that puts Moscow within range is now being geared up for full-scale production and operational use. NATO troops took part in a 2-week-long international military exercise. It's called Lightning in northeastern Estonia, not far from the Russian border. This exercise involves forces from multiple NATO member countries aimed at enhancing interoperability, improving defensive capabilities and demonstrating NATO's readiness to respond to potential security challenges in the region. The training is part of NATO's broader efforts to bolster its defense posture in Eastern Europe, particularly in light of the growing tensions with Russia. Oz Appeals Court on Friday rejected TikTok's attempt to question the constitutionality of a law requiring TikTok to separate from its Chinese owners or face a US ban. The law signed by President Joe Biden in April would block TikTok from US app stores and web hosting services unless ByteDance, its Chinese parent company, sells the platform by January 19. After losing an appeal in a federal court, TikTok on Friday said that it would go to the US Supreme Court under the right to free speech to fight the ban. The US government alleges TikTok allows Beijing to collect data and spy on users. China and the company denied these claims. India was one of the first countries to ban TikTok in June 2020. The government cited national security and privacy concerns, accusing the apps of potentially sharing data with the Chinese government. Many other countries imposed bans, restrictions or partial limitations on TikTok, and they include Canada, Australia, Austria, Denmark, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Iran, Pakistan and Nepal, among others. Across these regions, governments share common concerns around data privacy, national security and the platform's influence on social behavior. The iconic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris is set to reopen its doors to the public on the 7th of December, marking a huge milestone in the historic monument's recovery following the devastating fire in April 2019. The blaze, which engulfed the medieval Gothic masterpiece Notre Dame de Paris, caused widespread destruction, including the collapse of its spire and severe damage to its roof. In the aftermath, a massive restoration effort was launched, mobilizing architects, historians, artisans and engineers from around the globe. French President Emmanuel Macron, who pledged to restore Notre Dame within 5 years, hailed the reopening as a testament to collective resilience and human ingenuity. The reopening ceremony will be graced by world leaders, including newly elected US President Donald Trump, incumbent First Lady of the US Jill Biden, the UK's Prince William and other high-profile dignitaries. Moving on to other stories, Romania's top court annulled an ongoing presidential election after accusations of Russian meddling and ruled on Friday that the entire process, which had been due to conclude this weekend, would have to be rerun. The second round had been scheduled for Sunday and voting has already begun in polling stations abroad. It would have pitted Calin Georgescu, a far-right pro-Russian candidate, against pro-European Union centrist leader Elena Lasconi. Georgescu scored single-digit numbers in opinion polls before the first-round vote on the 24th of November, but then surged to a first-place finish that raised questions over the result. United States urges Romanians to have confidence in their elections and that they are in fact free from foreign malign influence. That's what the US State Department has said. After a Romanian court annulled an ongoing presidential election after accusations of Russian meddling emerged, the United States stands with the Romanian people as they face an unprecedented situation regarding the integrity of their elections, aimed at undermining the fairness of their elections. That's what the US State Department has said. Ghana holds a presidential and parliamentary election on Saturday amid hopes of an economic revival after the worst financial crisis in a generation, which led to a major debt default in the West African nation. Some provisional legislative results were expected by Saturday night and Sunday, while the presidential outcome is expected by Tuesday, although trends often allow an early prediction. Approximately 18.7 million out of Ghana's 34 million population are registered to vote. Thousands of pro-European demonstrators marched for the 9th consecutive night in Georgia. The rally took place a few hours after the Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Kobakidze claimed victory in a battle against the opposition amid a deepening post-electoral crisis. Police on Saturday fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse pro-EU protesters, rallying against the Prime Minister's decision to shelve talks on joining the bloc. Riot police in full gear moved in to disperse the rally outside the Parliament building using water cannons and making arrests as the crowd retreated a few meters from the area. Meanwhile, France, Germany and Poland condemned what they call the disproportionate use of force by Georgia's government against pro-European protesters in a joint statement by their foreign ministers on Friday. They also condemned the targeting of opposition figures and journalists. Angry French farmers criticized the EU-Mercosur trade deal, citing unfair trade standards that they argue threaten local agriculture. The deal, which aims to establish a free trade agreement between the European Union and the Mercosur bloc, has sparked widespread concern among European farmers, particularly in France. Farmers are worried that the deal will flood the EU market with agricultural products from Mercosur countries. They They argue that this would create an uneven playing field as European farmers are subject to strict regulations designed to ensure high environmental and quality standards, including measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, protect biodiversity and uphold animal welfare. Around 3 million people in parts of Wales and southwest England have been put on an emergency alert as storm Daraa approaches the UK. It is the largest use of the warning system yet and has been sent in fact to mobile phones of people in areas covered by the Met Office red weather warning for the storm. Authorities say the storm Daraa is expected to cause significant disruption, warning that strong winds can cause flying debris, falling trees and large waves, all of which can present a danger to life. New York City police believe the man who fatally shot a United Health CEO has left the city, said the police commissioner, as the hunt for the gunman passed the crucial 48-hour mark. Brian Thompson, 50 years old and the CEO of United Health Insurance Unit, was shot in the back on Wednesday in what police described as a targeted attack. Police have released multiple photos of the suspect who fled the scene, climbed on an electric bicycle and disappeared into Central Park, and have asked the public for help in tracking him down. Let's now take a look at some other stories making news around the world. The Dominican Republic recently made a major drug bust, seizing a record-breaking 9.5 tons of cocaine, marking one of the largest drug interceptions in the country's history. The cocaine, estimated to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars on the international market, was likely destined for the European Union, that is Europe as a whole, or the United States. Jordan lights Christmas tree at a historic Jesus baptism site, and that marked the holiday season with a somber yet hopeful reflection. This year's ceremony was marked by a somber reflection on the challenges faced by many around the world, particularly in West Asia. The tree, though simply adorned, stood as a symbol of resilience and a beacon of light. A 42-meter-high giant redwood tree at the Crackside Estate has become the largest living Christmas tree in the UK, decorated with over 2,000 lights. The lights, which twinkle in various colors, illuminate the tree's massive trunk and branches, making it visible from a great distance. Giant redwood are among the tallest and oldest living species on Earth. The festive spirit is alive and well in Illinois, where a house completely covered in Taylor Swift-themed Christmas decorations has returned for the holiday season. Known as the Swiftmas House, it has become a beloved tradition for locals and fans of the pop icon alike, as the home is transformed into a vibrant tribute to Taylor Swift's music and personality. Venezuelan conservationists are making significant efforts to protect the critically endangered red siskin, a small, vibrant bird with bright red plumage that holds cultural significance in the country. The red siskin Conservation Center, located at the Leslie Panton Zoo in Termuro, has become a focal point of these efforts. At almost 74, Wisdom, the legendary Laysan albatross and the world's oldest known wild bird, admires a recently laid egg at the Midway Atoll National Wildlife Refuge near Hawaii. She first became famous for being the oldest wild bird in the world when she was first documented in 1956, and now, nearly 7 decades later, she continues to thrive. In a heartwarming announcement, twin female pandas born at Berlin Zoo in August have been officially named Lenny and Lottie. The pandas, as part of the ongoing international cooperation between Germany and China, are considered the property of the People's Republic of China, and thus they also have official Chinese names. Still to come on DD India News Hour. 21st December declared as World Meditation Day at the United Nations General Assembly. India's Met Department predicts a mild winter and fewer cold wave days ahead. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister announces ex-gratia for those who died in a road accident in Kannauj. Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour with me, Munmun Bhattacharya. A recap of the headlines. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol apologizes for martial law attempt. Impeachment vote against him to take place today. Syrian government loses control of another key city of Daraa. Thousands flee the city of Homs as rebels' advance continues. Several countries, including India, issue a travel advisory. Amid the growing attack against minorities in Bangladesh, Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri to visit the nation on the 9th of December. And in World Chess Championship, Indian challenger Gukesh and China's world champion Liren to clash again in the 10th game on Saturday. I breakthrough after series of draws. Spokesperson of India's Ministry of External Affairs Randhir Jaiswal confirmed on Friday that Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri will be visiting Bangladesh on the 9th of December. During the visit, he will meet his Bangladeshi counterpart, and there will be several other meetings too during the visit, in which he will try to understand the prevailing situation in India's neighbouring nation. He would also take part in Foreign Office consultations between the two countries. This is the first major visit of an Indian official to Bangladesh in recent months that is suffering from violence against minorities, especially the Hindus.
Foreign Secretary is is scheduled to visit Bangladesh on 9th of December, and he will meet his counterpart, and there will be several other meetings during the visit. Foreign Office consultations led by the Foreign Secretary is a structured engagement between India and Bangladesh. We look forward to this meeting. We want to reiterate our position again that they have legal rights, and we hope that these legal rights will be respected and that the trial will be fair, transparent.
And DD India's Naval Singh Parmar is joining us from Dhaka on the phone line. Naval Singh, Foreign Secretary's visit comes days after New Delhi had urged Dhaka to ensure the safety and security of Hindus and other minorities there after reports of violence against them emerged. Also, would you say that the Foreign Secretary then is likely to take this up, including the arrest of Hindu monk Chinmoy Krishna Das, with the authorities in Bangladesh?
Well, Mamun, India already raised the issue of violence against the minority and particularly the arrest of Chinmoy Krishna Das Prabhu. But as our spokesperson said, it is FOC, Foreign Office consultation Foreign Secretary. Yeah, it is structured and structured visit, structured engagement between the two countries. And some days back, Bangladesh Foreign Affairs Advisor, so he can also state that it is structured engagement between India and Bangladesh, though it is the first important bilateral visit post recent change in Bangladesh. So there will be wide-ranging issues will be there, and they will be taken up. And one of them may be regarding the legal service, legal aid to the Chinmoy Krishna Das.
We'll leave it at that. Naval Singh Parmar reporting on the upcoming visit of India's Foreign Secretary to Bangladesh on the 9th of December. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is visiting Qatar and Bahrain on the 6th to the 9th of December, while on the 6th and 7th of December he is in Doha. On the 8th and 9th of December he will be in Bahrain. The External Affairs Minister will participate in the 22nd edition of the Doha Forum on the theme The Innovation Imperative on the 7th of December. And during the second leg of the visit, Jaishankar will travel to Bahrain, where he will co-chair the 4th India-Bahrain High Joint Commission with the Foreign Minister of Bahrain. This ministerial meeting will review the entire gamut of the bilateral relations and discuss avenues to further strengthen the multifaceted ties between India and Bahrain. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will also participate in the 20th edition of IISS Manama Dialogue in Bahrain on the 8th of December. The theme of this year's Manama Dialogue is Middle East Leadership in Shaping Regional Prosperity and Security. Meditation is rooted in ancient practices and is an effective tool to achieve inner transformation and peace in the modern times. And to celebrate the process of connecting with the inner soul, 21st December has been declared as World Meditation Day at the UN, with India playing an instrumental role. India, along with other nations of the core group, guided the unanimous adoption of the resolution on declaration of 21st of December as World Meditation Day at the United Nations General Assembly on Friday. India had taken the lead in declaration of 21st June, which marks summer solstice as International Day of Yoga by the UN in 2014. In a decade, it has become a global movement which has led to common people across the globe practicing yoga and making it a part of their daily lives. The Mahakumbh Mela 2025 is set to take place in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj in January and February next year on the banks of the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna besides the mythical Saraswati River. Approximately 40 crore devotees are expected to attend the Mahakumbh, marking a significant milestone. State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Friday directed officials to finalize action plans for the Mahakumbh by the 15th of December and complete all related projects by the 30th of December. He emphasized expediting ongoing development projects in the city with a campaign-style approach while ensuring quality and zero tolerance for negligence. Mahakumbh is an integral part of Indian tradition and it is renowned globally as the largest peaceful congregation of people. India is all set to witness diverse weather conditions in the coming days as the Met Department has predicted rain, snowfall, dense fog and a drop in temperatures across different regions. A new western disturbance is expected to bring showers to the northwest, while heavy rainfall is anticipated along the southern coast due to a cyclonic circulation. Moreover, Punjab, Chandigarh and Haryana are forecast to have light isolated showers on the 8th and 9th of December. Meanwhile, the Met Department has stated that the new low pressure area is likely to form over the southwest Bay of Bengal and move in a west-northwest direction, approaching the Sri Lankan coast by the 9th of December. It is expected to intensify into a depression near Sri Lanka and Tamil Nadu by the 12th of December. As a result, the Met Department has forecast rain in the southern coastal districts of Tamil Nadu on the 12th and 13th of December. India is celebrating the Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav in the national capital. It is a fest to celebrate the vibrant culture of the different states of the northeast. The Indian state of Meghalaya, often referred to as the abode of clouds, is also a hub for the exquisite Eri silk. This indigenous craft not only preserves the rich cultural heritage of the state, but also provides livelihoods to thousands of families. We bring you a closer look at the journey of Eri silk in Meghalaya in this report.
Devon Umden village of Meghalaya, the Eri silkworm thrives. Zonghi, a family-run business established by Tander Mung in 2009, has become one such flourishing enterprise specializing in Eri silk production in this village. Unlike other varieties of silk, Eri is derived from the domesticated Samia ricini moth, which feeds primarily on castor leaves. The centerpiece of Zonghi's production is the traditional women's attire, locally known as rindia, that is traditional shawl, and ginseng, that is Khasi sari, which have gained immense popularity. Moreover, the eri silk weaving is also providing employment opportunities to women. Zonghi, with its workshop employing 15 women, engaged in spinning, weaving, and designing, contributing to their financial independence and social upliftment.
Zhonghi has generated lots of employment opportunity to women. They can apply to us, those who are from low income or below poverty line income people. They can apply the scholarship for Zhonghi.
Eri silk is known for its durability, warmth, and unique texture, making it a sought-after fabric for both traditional and contemporary designs. Its appeal has extended beyond Meghalaya, with markets across India and even abroad recognizing its value. From the rearing fields to the fashion ramps, eri silk from Meghalaya is not just a fabric, it's a testament to the state's rich heritage and sustainable craftsmanship. As demand grows, so does the promise of economic upliftment for the local artisans. If you are visiting Meghalaya, wrap yourself in the warmth of this rich fabric of eri silk. It's definitely a collection to be made. With eri silk weaving the threads of tradition and modernity, Meghalaya's silk story is truly one to watch. Bureau Report, DD India, Shillong.
Nestled in the heart of Meghalaya, where misty hills meet rich soil, grows a fruit that is as unique as the land itself. Meet the Khasi mandarin, a citrus fruit that is fast becoming a symbol of the state's agricultural pride.
The Khasi mandarins, or sinteng as they are locally known, are not just another variety of orange. They are a testament to the age-old agricultural practices of the indigenous Khasi people, known for their bright, tangy flavor and thin skin. These mandarins have been cultivated in the region for generations. Unlike the commercially mass-produced oranges, Khasi mandarins are prized for their unique taste. The fruit is juicy, aromatic, and incredibly sweet, without the usual tartness that other varieties can carry. It's no wonder that they've become a favorite among both locals and visitors alike. With their rise in popularity, local farmers are finding new markets and opportunities to showcase their harvest both within India and globally. Recently, Jirang Organic Agro Farmer Producer Company in Riboi district of Meghalaya reached a significant milestone with the launch of this season's first export consignment of GI-tagged Khasi Mandarin to Lulu Mall in Dubai. The 1 megaton consignment was transported via Air India cargo from Guwahati to Dubai, representing the first ever direct export shipment from the region using this route. The Meghalaya government also holds Zest Festival to promote these Khasi mandarins in Bangalore. The geographical indication tag that was awarded this year has greatly facilitated their ability to export products to distant locations. Last year, the society successfully exported 20 metric tons of produce to Dubai.
I would like to give the credit of our success to both central and state governments, as their support helped us a lot. The Jirang Organic Agro Farmer Producer Company has had a positive impact on the region, especially the women, and has created significant employment opportunities.
Farmers expressed their satisfaction with the employment generated by the society, noting it has improved their livelihood. They urged other youth and community members to seize these opportunities, work hard, and not shy away from contributing to the region's growth. The Khasi mandarin is more than just a fruit. It's a symbol of Meghalaya's rich agricultural heritage and a reflection of the state's natural beauty. From the hilltops of the Khasi Hills to markets across India, the story of Khasi mandarin continues to unfold, one sweet, juicy bite at a time. Also, this success story serves as an inspiring example of how community-driven initiatives can foster economic growth, enhance livelihoods, and contribute to sustainable development in the region. Bureau Report, DD India.
Let's now take a look at some other stories making news. The first prototype of the Vande Bharat sleeper train set has been manufactured and will undergo field trials soon. India's Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that the timeline for the rollout of the train is subject to a successful completion of the trials. According to the minister, the Vande Bharat sleeper trains planned for long and medium distance journeys are equipped with modern features and passenger amenities. India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees each to the families of the deceased in the Kannauj road accident. The tragic accident, where a double-decker bus collided with a water tanker on the Lucknow-Agra expressway on Friday, claimed the lives of 8 people and left 19 others injured. The state government will also provide financial assistance of 50,000 rupees each to those who sustained serious injuries. A 3-day special session of the Western State of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly will be held from today. The session will enable newly elected MLAs to take oath and elect a speaker. The winter session of the state legislature will be held in Nagpur from the 16th to the 21st of December. Guru Tegh Bahadur Shahidi Divas, also known as Guru Tegh Bahadur Martyrdom Day, is being observed today by Sikhs worldwide. The Guru was admired and worshipped as the 9th Sikh Guru and is celebrated for his dedication to justice, human rights and religious freedom. Still to come on DD India News Hour. International community lauds India's inclusive growth story. All action from day 2 from the ping ball test between India and Australia at the Adelaide Oval. India celebrates Armed Forces Flag Day. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour with me, Munmun Bhattacharya. Gaining praise on the international front, India's public digital infrastructure and inclusive growth has been lauded by Krishnamurthy V. Subramanian, Executive Director at the International Monetary Fund. In an interview to an Indian news agency, Press Trust of India, Subramanian said that the international community is applauding India's growth story. He further noted that the world is bullish on India. The inclusive growth that India has pursued over the last decade is also something that comes up for appreciation. You're watching DD India News Hour. Time now for all the sports action. Jasprit Bumrah provided India early breakthrough on day 2 of the second test match at Adelaide Oval on Saturday. Bumrah first removed Max Sweeney on 39. He then got rid of Steven Smith on 2. 3 down, Australia are in a comfortable position and are looking to take a lead with Marnus Labuschagne and Travis Head at the crease. Earlier on day 1, Mitchell Starc's onslaught saw Australia bundle out India for a paltry 180 runs. Starc was India's destroyer-in-chief and he gave the hosts a dream start by removing Yashasvi Jaiswal with the first ball of the match and ended with 6 wickets. With India in trouble, Nitish Kumar Reddy decided to take charge. He reached his highest test score of 42 before he fell to Starc. India is leading the 5-match Border Gavaskar series 1-0. Narayan Singh now joins us live from New Delhi. Narayan, is India fighting back hard after surrendering momentum to Australia at the Adelaide Oval on Friday?
Day 2, we can say that good start by the India, the way Jasprit Bumrah took 2 early wickets and put Australia on the back foot, but the way Labuschagne is batting, he is approaching his 50, and also Travis Head is there. We know that these are the two key players for Australia if they want to be in this match. And all in all, India need quick wickets, and I think the captain should introduce. Already he has given 2 overs to Ashwin, but in such conditions we know the record of the R. Ashwin at the Adelaide Test grounds. So he should have given more overs here. And yesterday also, when during the press conference, when the Ryan Dashkote was asked about who will be the key man for India in this Test match, he said that all eyes will be on Ashwin. So we can say that here, few more overs to Ashwin, India could be back in the match, because the lead is, we can say that a good, after scoring 180, India could have managed around 250 runs on this wicket. As yesterday at one point of time, they were 65 for 1, and soon after a few overs, we saw that they were 5 wickets down for 85. That was, we can say that they lost wickets in a cluster, and where they lost the plot, and otherwise the lead would have been a good lead. India would have been taken there. And the way Australia batting right now, India need quick wickets here, because the pink ball test, we know that batting against the pink ball test always difficult. We know that the seam is quite prominent and the swing is more, also the lateral movement it provides in any conditions. So quick wickets India need here to be there in the match after their massive win at the Perth Test match.
Also, Narayan, earlier we saw how Mitchell Starc had regained his mojo with a cracking 6-wicket haul. So did he almost single-handedly jolt the Indian batting lineup earlier?
Definitely, kudos to him. The kind of display he yesterday displayed, the kind of performance for the Australian team, which was a fantastic performance by the Mitchell Starc, and he was the man behind the revival of the Australian inning, because India has started well after they lost Yashasvi Jaiswal, but after that they stitched, the Indian players stitched a good partnership. But after that, Mitchell Starc wreaked havoc and put India on the back foot. And also, I think they learned the mistake they did in the opening Test match, where their bowling looked mediocre and their batting too. All the questions were asked over their batting. The Australian top order was not able to play. They were not able to score runs. But here, I think they have resembled themselves. They did a wonderful homework on their batting front and the bowling front, and that's why they are making a bounce back. And we can say that, as you mentioned, Mitchell Starc, the way he bowled, exactly the same thing the Indian bowlers can do. We know that Indian bowling attack is one of the potent ones, and Jasprit Bumrah, one of the fantastic bowler. He has already taken 3 wickets of the Australia in their first inning. So that kind of, we can say, the performance is required from the other bowlers. Harshit Rana, we know that in the tour match against the Australia's Prime Minister 11, the fantastic performance he did. So that the replica, the repetition of that performance is needed here for the Indian bowlers, because this match is very important in the context of the World Test Championship. Also, India already won the first match in the Perth, and here if they win, definitely it will be a big boost for their chances to be there in the WTC final also.
Narayan Singh reporting from New Delhi. In the World Chess Championship, Indian challenger D. Gukesh and China's world champion Ding Liren will look to have a breakthrough after a series of draws when they meet in Game 10 on Saturday. The draw on Thursday in Game 9, which was the 7th of the match and the 6th on the trot, has left both players on an identical score of 4.5 points each. If both the players are still level on points after their 14th and final classical game next Thursday, half-hour rapid and, if needed, 3-minute blitz tie breakers will decide the winner next Friday. 7 December is celebrated as Armed Forces Flag Day every year in India. Citizens wear badges of the national flag and also donate to the Fund for Welfare of the Martyred and Disabled Soldiers. Our correspondent Nandita Dagar reports.
of December is observed as the Armed Forces Flag Day since 1949 throughout India to honor the martyrs and the men in uniform who valiantly fought and continue to fight on our borders to safeguard the country's honor. Soldiers are one of the greatest assets of any country. They are the guardians of the nation and protect the citizens at all costs. The Armed Forces Flag Day brings to forefront our commitment of looking after our war-disabled soldiers, Veer Naris and the families of martyrs who have sacrificed their lives for the country. Fundraising for the well-being of armed forces personnel and their families is another aspect of the Armed Forces Flag Day. The Defence Ministry created the Armed Forces Flag Day Fund in 1949. Contributions can be made to the Armed Forces Flag Day Fund by cheque, demand draft, NEFT, RTGS drawn in various bank accounts. For contribution to the Armed Forces Flag Day Fund, you may please log in to affdf.gov.in. On this day, symbolic flags are flown to raise awareness of the sacrifices made by our military and to promote donations. Wearing these flags is a straightforward but heartfelt way to show respect and gratitude. Citizens have the chance to show their appreciation for defense troops and their families on this particular day. In New Delhi, this is Nandita Dagar for DD India.
India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platforms. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. So if you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. That's all in this edition of DD India News Hour, but do share your thoughts with us on the news of the day. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. This is Munun Bhattacharya from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.